Lord, rejoicing, I tread life's way. Higher I'm climbing each passing day. Hilltops of glory now rise in view, where all shall be made new. The hilltops of glory. Oh, brother, won't you come go with me? Safe on the mountain I soon shall stand, hilltops of glory land. Our invitation song will be number 772. Good evening. I have to tell you really quickly, I had two different things I was pondering over doing. Have you ever done this when you're about to tell a story, or you only have a chance to say something really quick, and you have two options, and then you pick one, and then when you're almost done with it, you're like, I should have done the other one. That's kind of where I was. I got all this done, and I'm like, well, maybe I should have done the other. Well, no, okay. So, and let me preface this, and this is one thing I do like to say every time I come up and I'm able to share a message with you all, is it helps me a lot because I know this is something I always need to work on. I just say that because I pray and hope that sometimes when I say this, we're already there, but just in case, I'll share my thoughts. When is the last time you offered someone your coat as well? The last time you truly loved your enemies? The last time you tore down your barns and built bigger ones? In Luke chapter 12, verse 18, starting there, it says, "And he said, 'This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry.'" You know, Satan works in a lot of different ways. He doesn't usually tempt us with the obvious. He's not getting us to wake up and think about necessarily murdering, robbing. He's trying to get us to do other things that get us to fall off the path. He's trying to get us to sometimes say, well, it doesn't really say that, or how does that really affect you? So today, what I want to talk about really quickly is that. How many of us have ever torn down our barn and built a bigger one? Well, I'll be quite honest, I've never really had a barn, so I've never really torn one down and built a bigger one. Well then, so how does that apply to us? I will say this too, just because I am a part owner in a indoor tennis facility, and we do technically call it a barn sometimes. So that is kind of, it's not a barn, but it's just kind of funny when I was thinking about all this. But so I guess I have had a barn, but I'm not tearing it down anytime soon. I'm just letting you know right now. So the question becomes, what are our barns? And this got me thinking over the summer when something had come up and a brother was in need of some help. And at the time I sat there and I was like, just thinking about it, I was like, I just don't have a lot of money in a savings. I don't have my, they tell you on TV all the time about 6 months of savings and all this. And I was like, I don't have that. I don't have this any place that I can just go pull out some money. And it was very, very one of those things, man, I wish I could do that. And then I kind of pulled back and I said, well, wait a second, let me look at what I do have and kind of reevaluate. Because I don't have a big barn like most of you all out there. But I'll tell you what, I all of a sudden realized I got a lot of small barns that add up. When I was younger, my grandfather used to smoke cigars, and so he would sometimes have money in a cigar box. I've never smoked a day in my life, but I got a cigar box from like 25 years ago that I still keep money in. I got a big piggy bank. It's not a piggy bank, it's just a jar now, with a bunch of change in it. I don't ever use it. I got some collectible stuff that I keep that I've gathered over I got savings bonds from when I was like 7. Yeah, younger than you guys even. They're not even getting interest anymore. They're not getting it. They don't do me any good sitting there anymore. And I still have those. And so I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, I don't have a barn, but I got a lot of little barns. And when I don't take that into account and put myself in a position to say and be self-reflective about how much sometimes I'm blessed with and sometimes how much all of us in this country are blessed with, we get lost in it because it's very easy to say, look, I don't have a barn. I don't have a big, huge, I'm not tearing it down so that I can have, well, you know what? We got 401ks, and I know we don't all have these. We have 401ks, we have Roth IRAs, we have savings accounts, we have checking accounts, we have other collectibles, we have safes that we keep stuff in, we got houses that we got cars, we have rental houses, some of us. We have a lot of barns. We have a lot of different avenues. And that sometimes is used in a positive way to get us to think, well, we don't really have a lot. Well, look, what are we saving up for? What do we need all that for when we get to that last and final day? Now, that doesn't mean that we're not told to be responsible and to be, attentive to making sure that when we retire, we're not, having to work until you're 90, though sometimes it's worth working because it does keep you going. It's not about that, but it's about sometimes saying, hey, you know what? I do have a little bit more than I thought. I do have some more to give back sometimes. And again, I'm talking for myself too, mainly because I sit there and I get self-reflective about that and I say, I can't just sometimes take myself out of it. I got to find how the word applies to me. I got to say, well, you know what? I know Jesus said barns, but that's because back then that's kind of what the topic was. It was more useful, but he sent that message forward to us, and he sent it in a way that said, hey, don't forget this. Don't forget this, because you know what? You're going to get to a point in your lives where you're going to be able to, sort of step back and maybe sometimes say, well, I don't have all this that I have, until maybe you say, well, look, maybe I actually have a little more than I do. Maybe I'm a little bit more blessed in my struggle. Because when I struggle, I'm still better off than a lot of other people in this world. And when I and the church are in need, we're always there for each other. And it's one of those things that as we are looking for ways to continue to strengthen our lives, we do have to remember that we're not always going to be tempted. We're not always going to be tried to put down this obvious bad road. Satan doesn't need us to go in the opposite direction. He just needs us to be a little off the road. He doesn't need you, to go out and do the worst of things. He just needs you to be a little bit off, a little bit bad. Because if he can get you down that road, he can get you thinking that maybe that's okay. And the more you get away from it, the more you stray from that straight and narrow path, like we're told, man, we got a lot of problems coming. I don't want to get too long-winded because I do that sometimes. But in the end, I do want to say this. It is one of those things we want to remember, and we want to make sure that we take that chance every time when we're asked to give back, whether that's time, whether that's monetarily, whether that's with just being a friend, that we make sure that we use and give all that back in the same manner that we've been blessed with, back to others, and especially back to the church and back to the brethren that we have here. This is the time that we also leave for the invitation that if anybody has been struggling with anything, if you need to take that step forward, if you need any help, prayers in any way, that we do offer the invitation for you to come forward. And we ask that if you need that, if you need to take that first step, if you need to take a renewed step, or if you just need to do it back there, everything's good. But if you need our help this evening, please come forward as we stand and sing.
wait, dear brother? Oh, why do you tarry so long? Your Savior is waiting to give you a place in his sanctified throng. Why not? Why not? Why not come to him now? Why not? Why not? Why not come to him now? Why do you wait, dear brother? The harvest is passing away. Your Savior is longing to bless you. There's danger and death and delay. Why not? Why not? Why not come to him now? Why not? Why not? Why not come to him now? Please be seated.